Friends, I welcome you to my channel. Before listening to this story, I will ask you to like and subscribe. It is not difficult for you, but it is pleasant for me. And we're starting. When I, Will Lawson, met Linda Peters, I realized that she has a passion: bridge. She had apparently been playing since 8th grade, and mostly with her longtime partner, Garrett Wynn, had achieved Master of Sport status by the time she turned 19. She became a bronze medalist in this sport by the time she turned 22, and at the age of 24 when I met her, she was a silver medalist. Shortly after I met her, she proudly stated that two of her main goals in life were to become a great master of the sport of bridge, achieve the highest attainable level, and more importantly, win the World Mixed Doubles Championship. When I was first introduced to Garrett, I was very suspicious of it. He's a good-looking guy, my age, a year older than Linda. Sociable, and he and Linda seemed to have a real relationship, even though they didn't have one. However, I was relieved when I later met his wife, Cecilia. Cecilia is pretty, short, playful, and has a very beautiful toned body, including a spectacular ass for a woman weighing about 50 kilograms. I remember thinking, if Garrett has Cecilia, then there's no reason to hit on Linda. Although Linda is, at least in my opinion, beautiful, she is very different from Cecilia. She is tall, brunette, with big breasts and reserved, almost the complete opposite of Cecilia. Because most men have certain types, Linda is my type. I assumed that Linda was not Garrett's type, and having come to this conclusion, I started dating her seriously. Linda seemed to fall in love with me almost as quickly as I fell in love with her. She seemed very happy to spend all her time with me, except when she was working or playing bridge. I wasn't surprised when she accepted my marriage proposal, and we were engaged for only 3 months. It would have been 2 months and 3 weeks, but Linda and Garrett once held a regional tournament over the weekend during that time. Married life was good, although Linda and I had quite a lot in common, including our musical tastes, our politics, and a penchant for working out together, usually with aerobic exercise 3 times a week and a long anaerobic session once a week. I thought it would be nice if I could share her love of bridge, although I've played poker and hearts most of my life. I was above average in both, but I had never tried to play bridge. My goal was not to replace Garrett in her doubles competition, but just to make sure that I could talk to her about it and go to a few low-level tournaments out of town. In order to be able to play bridge, I would need my own low-level partner. After thinking about it for just a few minutes, I thought, why not Cecilia? I liked Cecilia, and she had the same problems as me with her husband's commitment to bridge. She was also at my beginner level. After Linda and I got married a few months ago, while Garrett and Linda were at the Saturday tournament, I called Cecilia and invited her to dinner on Saturday. She gladly agreed. We had a nice chat while I was cooking chicken with Parmesan cheese. She helped us make the salad, and we drank a bottle of wine before and during dinner. After dinner, Cecilia and I retired to the balcony of our apartment and lifted our legs. Cecilia, besides just wanting to enjoy your company, I had another reason to invite you tonight. Have you ever thought about playing bridge? After a short pause and a guilty smile, she replied, Of course I thought about it. I mean, it's very important to Garrett, and he's my husband, so I have to. However, I will never reach his level, and I do not know if I will consider myself a failure. Besides, I'm not sure I have the guts to do it. I chuckled. I'm sure you're smart enough to do that. What if you could start playing with another rookie and could learn enough to talk intelligently about it with Garrett and maybe go to some of the same tournaments out of town? Are you offering this to me, Will? She laughed. In a way, yes, I laughed back. I would like to start learning bridge, but I need a partner. Who could possibly be a better partner than you? I have absolutely no expectations or even desire to get into the same class with Linda and Garrett, but I would like to have something else in common with Linda and an excuse to go to some tournaments outside the city. Cecilia looked thoughtful for a second and then said, Let's do this? Do we ask our spouses to teach us, or do we go to classes, or what? Why don't we talk to Linda and Garrett on Monday and see what they have to offer? Actually, why don't you two come over for dinner on Monday and we can discuss this as a group? I said. Only if I can add salad, dessert, and wine. What are you thinking of cooking as a main course? She replied. We talked about dinner, politics, movies, and many other topics, and before we knew it, the clock showed 2:36 a.m. Since we had finished almost 3 bottles of wine, I persuaded Cecilia to stay the night in our guest room. I gave her breakfast the next morning, and we parted with smiles on our faces. Even if nothing worked out with bridge, I was glad that I had made a very suitable and sweet friend. Asterisk 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 asterisk. I was glad late Sunday afternoon when Linda returned and reported that she and Garrett had won a large number of points for third place in the sectional tournament from Saturday morning to early Sunday afternoon. I was happy not only for her but for myself too. You see, when Linda performs well in a tournament, I enjoy great lovemaking when she returns. By the way she walked, by the unbuttoned top 3 buttons of her blouse, and by the smile on her face when she entered the apartment, I could tell it was going to be a good night. After we exchanged a searing kiss, her arms wrapped around my neck and my palms rested on her ass, she giggled. I took off my panties and bra in the lobby. I hope you didn't cause heart attacks in the elderly residence or some young man with lustful ideas, I chuckled. Oh, I was very restrained, she giggled. But you better take care of me, or I might have to go back downstairs to provoke some action. The night was full after I cooked her a quick dinner, ate her for dessert, and then made love to her. Before we fell asleep, I mumbled that Cecilia and Garrett would be coming to dinner the next night and that I would cook her favorite dish, fettuccine alfredo. That's sweet, Will, she murmured before falling asleep on my shoulder. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. Obviously, what I said to Linda on Sunday night about Cecilia and Garrett coming to dinner on Monday night didn't quite sink in. Although she didn't really take offense when I reminded her of it on Monday morning, she didn't seem too enthusiastic about it, or how it happened when Cecilia and I talked about it over dinner on Saturday night, and she slept in the guest room on Sunday morning. Nevertheless, by the time Cecilia and Garrett arrived and the smell of Alfredo sauce filled the kitchen, she was in high spirits. We had a great dinner, and as far as I could tell, Linda and Garrett were thrilled with our interest in bridge. That evening, they gave us our first basic lesson, and advised us to sign up for courses at the community center. They agreed that our learning curve would be lower if Cecilia and I were partners. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. For the next 2 years, I had a wonderful life. I got 2 promotions. Linda seemed to like her job, and she and I continued to do all the things we had in common, and our life was great, especially if she and Garrett performed well at the tournament. In addition, Cecilia and I advanced in bridge and even visited 2 tournaments with Linda and Garrett, in which players of all levels participated, from Masters of Gold status, which Linda and Garrett became, to newcomers like Cecilia and me. In fact, next to Linda and one of my college buddies who lived nearby, Cecilia became my best friend. Linda and Garrett threw Cecilia and me a party when we got our first 2 master points. Life was fantastic. Of course, now that I've said it, you know what the but is going to follow. This but came in the form of another Saturday night dinner with Cecilia, when Linda and Garrett were at another late-night bridge competition. This dinner was at Cecilia and Garrett's house and was hosted by Cecilia. After a pleasant meal, discussions over a glass of brandy about many things, including our ongoing bridge classes, Cecilia said, "There's something serious I want to talk to you about, Will." "Dump it out." I smiled, and then took another sip of brandy from my glass. "I think Linda and Garrett are making love at a competition outside the city," she blurted out. Fortunately, I swallowed my last sip of brandy, otherwise it would have gushed out of my nostrils. "What?" was my shocked response. "What makes you think that?" "It started the first night when we told them that one of the reasons we wanted to play bridge was to go to a few tournaments with them outside the city," Cecilia grumbled. "I love you, Will, but I know you're one of the least observant people in the world, so I didn't expect you to notice it, but I did." After a significant pause, she continued. "What I noticed was a slight grimace between Linda and Garrett and a fleeting eye contact between them. They came to their senses quickly and seemed to support us after that. But those grimaces and that fleeting glance were imprinted on my brain. Of course, your suspicions are based more on that, I swallowed. Yes, it is. Did you notice that they performed poorly at the 2 tournaments where we accompanied them? In one, they scored a total of 1 master point, she recalled correctly. Undeterred by my lack of response, she continued, Have you noticed how hot they get when they come back from a competition where they performed well? I have responded to this last comment. Wouldn't that mean they weren't making love to each other if they were horny when they came back? Just the opposite. They inspired each other and boosted their libido, and perhaps also felt guilty. Cecilia continued for another 20 minutes, and from time to time I asked questions or expressed doubts. However, when she finished, it seemed to me that there might just be something in what she said. Although I didn't tell her about it, there was another factor that could help substantiate her suspicions. Although I was far from convinced, I was willing to go along with Cecilia's suggestion to try to figure out what was going on, if anything at all. That evening we started planning. When Linda returned that Sunday, she and Garrett got a bunch of red master points, and she was horny. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. On Monday and Tuesday, Cecilia and I put the first part of our plan into action. Cecilia had several people she worked with who were technical specialists, especially when it came to smartphones. We both replaced the dead batteries in our spouses' phones, and when they expressed concern, we offered to fix them in one day. On Monday, I took Linda's phone to Cecilia's office, and by Tuesday evening I was able to return it to Linda. After handing out the phones to Cecilia's tech friends, we did 2 things. First, they installed locator apps on them so that we could determine, presumably with an accuracy of 7 meters, where they are. So if Linda and Garrett's phones were within 7 meters of each other at midnight during a trip to a competition outside the city, we would know that they shared a bed. The second thing that handing over the phones to Cecilia's technicians did was allow us to view any incriminating emails, text messages, or photos. They provided this information to Cecilia, and she made a copy for me. I didn't want to find out that Linda and Garrett were making love for an obvious reason. I wasn't going to share my wife. I loved her and didn't want a divorce. However, it seemed that Cecilia almost wanted to find out that they were making love, just to prove that she was right. Maybe not, but that's exactly what it looked like. Regardless of what any of us wanted to find, we made a promise to try to find out everything we could and rationally approach what we would do with it. The discovered emails, text messages, and photos revealed nothing incriminating. Although, as expected, many emails and text messages were deleted, there was nothing even remotely indicating treason. All communication between Linda and Garrett was friendly, but not flirtatious, and of course, there were no signs of tenderness. In fact, I should have concluded that Cecilia and I communicated with each other with a higher level of tenderness than Linda and Garrett. There were also no expressions of dissatisfaction with Cecilia and me, and the only risky photos Garrett had on his phone were with Cecilia, and the only ones Linda had were with me. In addition, Cecilia and I recalled our past observations of Garrett and Linda when they were together. There has never been, never any courtship. In fact, Cecilia and I were 10 times more affectionate with each other than Garrett and Linda. The next time Linda and Garrett left for the competition, Cecilia and I got together on Friday and Saturday nights. Although, as expected, during the competition, their phones actually overlapped each other, since they were sitting less than 1.5 meters apart, and the app was not sensitive enough to determine this distance, or they sat next to each other at lunch or dinner. At night, their phones were at a great distance from each other, definitely more than 7 meters, which the locator app was designed for. When Cecilia and I talked to them on the phone late at night both times, there was nothing suspicious either. In fact, I even stayed in Cecilia's guest room both nights so we could compare the data in the middle of the night. The next part of the plan was to go with them to a competition outside the city. We did it twice, and both times they apparently played poorly because they scored few master points and were in a bad mood after that. Then we tried to show up unexpectedly at tournaments outside the city. I arrived at one competition where they were supposed to stay overnight on Saturday at about 9 o'clock in the evening. I thought I'd won when I got the key at the front desk, showed my ID, and opened room 428, Linda's room. Garrett was there and was looking at some bridge stats. After a brief, testy exchange, Garrett convinced me that his and Linda's rooms were mixed up and that she was in 601. I hurried there and found that Linda was also looking at the bridge stats. She was obviously surprised, but seemed happy to see me. The next morning, I left before breakfast so as not to disturb her concentration. Linda and Garrett performed well at that competition. Cecilia did almost the same thing I did during the 2-day tournament about a month later. She also found them in different rooms on Friday night, but also stayed overnight on Saturday and just went shopping and sightseeing in the city where the tournament was being held. Linda and Garrett were not very successful in this competition and were unhappy upon their return. Over the next 2 years, we tried a lot of other things. We were never able to come to anything definite, although Cecilia continued to be very suspicious, and I have to admit that some things didn't really work out the way they should. However, Linda was a loving and excellent wife. Then everything went awry for a day or two, but it quickly returned to normal. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. The World Mixed Doubles Championship in Geneva, Switzerland was approaching when everything went awry. The event, including the time to overcome jet lag, the registration reception, and then the game itself, lasted about 8 days. In the run-up to this event, Garrett and Linda did their best to dissuade Cecilia and me from participating, without openly telling us that we were not invited. In view of their pathetic performances in the competitions that Cecilia and I participated in, was it just bad luck or something else? Cecilia and I decided to put aside our suspicions for a while so that they would have the best chance of success, since winning this tournament was their long-held dream. Maybe their most important dream of a lifetime. Linda even talked about having kids if they won. Their plane couldn't have been further than over the Atlantic that Saturday morning when they left, when Cecilia called me in desperation. "Will, I've only found out something in the last hour. I talked to John Tipton, the male part of the couple who participates in most of the competitions that Garrett and Linda go to. He doesn't seem to have any malicious intent, although Linda and Garrett defeat him and his partner Judy Smith most of the time. He told me something very interesting." "What?" That was my reasonable answer. He said, and it just came up in a casual conversation, I didn't tell him anything about my suspicions, that Linda and Garrett go somewhere at every break, and when they come back, their clothes often change, and their game improves significantly. "How long do the breaks last?" I asked. "Are they different from the rookie matches?" "Yes, they are different. 20-minute morning and afternoon breaks and 90 minutes for lunch and dinner, after which the game resumes. In addition, no one ever has lunch or dinner with them or sees them at lunch or dinner. If you or I aren't there," she snorted. I wasn't sure if they could do it during the 20-minute breaks, although I knew Linda well enough to know that it was possible if she was motivated enough. However, they could certainly do this during lunch and dinner breaks. None of them were big eaters, and they could get enough in 10 minutes. I must have been speechless for a long time because Cecilia asked, "Are you still here, Will?" Land to Will. "Yes, I'm still here," I muttered. "Is any continuation possible?" "John says Judy might know something. She's probably not at home right now, but she should be back this afternoon. I'll talk to her then," Cecilia replied. "Let me know," I muttered, and cut the call short. I couldn't really concentrate after Cecilia's call, so I cleaned the garage a little mindlessly, and then took a shower and just tried to watch a baseball game on TV until Cecilia called back. I got out of the shower just 15 minutes later when Cecilia burst through my front door. By that time, Cecilia and I were so friendly that we behaved like a family, and if the door was unlocked, we just opened it. Cecilia's expression was hard to read. It was definitely decisive. Other than that, I couldn't tell if it was angry, thoughtful, or something else. I could usually read her mind, but not this time. I stood up to greet her. She more or less disappeared into my arms. After about a minute, I took her hands, pushed her away from me, looked into her eyes, and asked, "What did Judy say?" A single tear appeared in Cecilia's left eye, and then she spoke in a low voice. "The only reason I'm not upset anymore is because for the last few years I've had the creepy feeling that they were making love. Twice Judy saw them leave one of their rooms during their lunch break. They hadn't seen her, and she didn't want to characterize their appearance. The only good thing is that she never told anyone, including John. She's not a gossip girl. My heart sank, but only for a few seconds because my attention was distracted by Cecilia hitting me in the face. Not very much, but strong enough for me to pay attention to it. When I looked at her with a puzzled expression, she said calmly, "During the next 8 days while they are gone, we need to make several decisions." I really can't explain my mood in the half hour or so that followed the statement, "We really like each other." I know for sure that I was shocked by her actions and impressed by her body when Cecilia took off her sundress in a matter of seconds, not finding any underwear. I do not know how she did it, but she pulled my trousers around my ankles, imprinting a scalding hot kiss on my lips. It took a long time for both of us to fully realize this after our first pairing. Cecilia helped me take off my shirt and socks, the only items of clothing I was still wearing, and then jumped into my arms and asked me to carry her to my bed. I did it! I would like to describe the rest of the week to you in great detail, but unfortunately my mind has become muddled. I also find it hard to believe that everything that happened actually happened. Since Garrett and Linda were supposed to be back the following Monday, Cecilia's plan included the two of us making love as many times as we could until Sunday at 6 a.m., and then taking the weekend off to prepare for their return Monday afternoon. I didn't make any complaints. In fact, Cecilia probably thought that I was completely subordinate to her, because everything she offered during our spouse's stay at the World Cup, we did. It wasn't really that I was a subordinate, it was just that Cecilia was so funny and she had so many good ideas that I probably couldn't have come up with anything better. During this time, each of us talked to our spouse once a day before their first card session of the day. We were pleasant and didn't talk about anything. Not about their infidelities over the years. They were both in high spirits because they were really doing well. In fact, when we talked to them on Saturday, the last day of the competition, they were in first place, and their excitement was palpable. Recharging our batteries on the Sunday before our spouses were supposed to return home, and before our phone conversation with them that day, Cecilia and I sat in my living room at some distance from each other, so as not to start pestering each other and have a serious fight. "Okay, kid, how are you going to deal with Linda and Garrett's cheating when they get home?" "What is it?" she asked. "I'm not really sure. To be honest, I love Linda, and it's hard for me to think about the future without her. But for the same reason, I also don't want to be a wimp or a scapegoat," I replied after much thought. "You're probably pretty far behind me in your thinking, since I've been almost certain of their betrayal for 2 years, even though we only received confirmation 8 days ago. Let me tell you what I intend to do, although it still depends a lot on you, because you can completely ruin my plans," she said. "Let's hear it," I smiled. At that moment, our mobile phones rang almost simultaneously. I went outside to answer Linda's call while Cecilia answered Garrett's call in the living room. Linda was delighted. They won. They won the damn mixed doubles world championship. She was so overjoyed that it seemed she could fly to the moon at any minute. I received a summary of the entire competition, including a description of the winning hand and the accolades she and Garrett achieved. I promised that Cecilia and I would be waiting for them at the airport on Monday afternoon, and our banners wouldn't be too embarrassing. When I returned to the house, Cecilia was finishing a conversation with Garrett. Of course, he was just as excited as Linda. As soon as Cecilia pressed the red button on her phone, she jumped into my arms and kissed me hard. "What was that for?" I giggled as she jumped back down and sat on the couch. "It's an expression of joy, because what just happened makes everything easier. That's why Will." "How so?" "Just before the call, I started telling you what I planned to do, and now, assuming your cooperation, I can do it. After the excitement of their victory has subsided, including after the victory party we're throwing them, we tell them they have 2 more years to play bridge, and then we give birth to children, and the time for bridge is up. After that, only local bridge games, mostly friendly ones, which fit into our children's schedule." "What about the next 2 years?" I asked. "For the next 2 years, every time they go to a competition outside the city, we stay at home and try to make love until they pass out until they come home," she replied with a big smile on her face. In the next minute, a lot of thoughts instantly flashed through my head. Although some of these things seemed unrelated to the final decision, important things were repeated. I loved Linda. When I didn't know about Linda's infidelity, I was not only happy with my marriage, but also very happy. Cecilia was a good friend, Assuming that Linda and Garrett were never together again after they quit bridge, I would be very happy to stay married. After about 5 years of thinking, which flashed through my head in about 60 seconds, I smiled and said, "I'm in," for which Cecilia hugged me tightly. Then she left, giving me a quick kiss and saying, "I have to stay away from you until you pick me up to take us to the airport on Monday afternoon, because we both need to recharge. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. After Cecilia and I picked Garrett and Linda up from the airport, with, as promised, not too embarrassing posters over the next 2+ years, the following happened. We had a great birthday party for Linda and Garrett at the local country club. We invited all our families, including cousins and all our friends, more than 200 guests in total. Linda and Garrett were thrilled and eternally grateful. A week after the party, Cecilia and I met with Linda and Garrett and told them that if they wanted to stay married, they had 2 more years of competition ahead of them, and then we would have children, and the only bridge competitions would be local. Surprisingly, they did not put up any resistance, saying that they had fulfilled the dream of their whole life in bridge, that they definitely wanted to live in a marriage with us, and that as soon as the children were born, the tournaments would be canceled. Over the next 2 years, they attended an average of 1 country tournament per month. While they were away, Cecilia and I were together all the time, and we were comfortable with each other. We were so satisfied that we didn't even think about what Linda and Garrett might be doing. Presumably the last time Cecilia and I were supposed to be together, and at the last competition outside the city that Linda and Garrett were going to, after which both women immediately refused contraceptives, Cecilia behaved a little strangely. She tried to hide it, but sometimes there were tears in her eyes after we copulated. The way she approached everything, it was much more like making love. 6 weeks after our last meeting, Cecilia invited me to lunch on a blanket in the park on a beautiful spring day. After a light meal and banter, she got down to business. "Will, I don't really know how to say this, so I'm being blunt. I'm 6 weeks pregnant with your baby." "What did you say?" I gasped, thankfully not regurgitating my Pepsi. "The last time we were together, I did not take contraceptives because I had my spiral removed a week before we made love. I know that's when I got pregnant." "I just know in my heart that this is your child. I will do a blood test after 11 weeks of pregnancy to confirm this and determine the sex of the baby." "What are you going to do?" I blurted out without thinking. "What do you mean, what am I going to do?" she snapped. She took a deep breath and then said, "I'm going to have your baby. Especially if it's a girl, no one will suspect anything because you and Garrett have the same color of eyes and hair, and the girl will most likely look more like me than any of you. Will you keep this a secret?" "Yes, I intend to do that, unless you and Linda get divorced, and at that point I'll get divorced too and claim you," she growled, crossing her arms over her chest and pouting. It wasn't easy to digest, but there was nothing I could do about it except pretend to be happy. A big smile appeared on my face, and I said, "I will do everything in my power to support you emotionally, and if you ever need money, I will help you with that." Then I kissed her. She had a big smile on her face after our lips parted. 2 weeks after my lunch with Cecilia, when Linda and I were lounging in bed after a wonderful carnal session, she smiled and said, "I have good and bad news. Which one do you want first?" I grimaced and then said, "Bad news." Of course, that's when I found out what the good news was. Linda was pregnant. I kissed her with a long, hot kiss, and then we made love tenderly. Cecilia's little girl, an exact replica of her, was born 5 weeks before Linda and my little boy were born, who looked exactly like in my childhood photos. Both Linda and Cecilia took up parenting as real parents. Our families remained close, although we never had the opportunity to mess around, and except for the fact that Cecilia and I occasionally discreetly pinched each other's buttocks, there was no indication that this was even intended. Linda and I had another little boy just 2 years after our first one. Although I wasn't paranoid or suspicious, just to calm down, I ran DNA tests on both my little boys and Cecilia's little girl. I was the biological father of all 3. Our firstborn children were both 2.5 years old. All 4 of us enjoyed being parents, and our lives were going great. Both mothers had regained the bodies they had before pregnancy and were damn attractive. Then Cecilia invited me to have lunch in the park again. She didn't beat around the bush this time. Will, I want another child, and I want her or him to have the same biological father as my first one. 10 months later, Cecilia gave birth to another sweet little girl, and it wasn't because of the Immaculate Conception. End.